Well, hello there, membershippers. Welcome to the Membership Geeks podcast. I'm your host, Mike Morrison, Chief Geek around these parts, founder of the Membership Geeks and Membership Academy. And today we're talking about something that many membership owners will face at some point in their journey. What do you do when your membership just is not working and you think that you need to pivot? Maybe your membership isn't growing the way that you expected. Maybe you're feeling stuck, uninspired, or you're seeing signs that your current direction just isn't sustainable. You might be wondering, do I need to change my focus? Do I need to niche down? Should I go broader? Should I scrap everything and just start again? Before you start making drastic changes, we're going to take a step back, and in this episode, I'm going to walk you through how to figure out if you really need to pivot or if you're just panicking, how to assess what's actually going wrong with your membership, and what practical steps you should take if a pivot is the right move. So, if you're feeling stuck and unsure whether your membership needs a fresh direction, this one's for you. But before we dive in, if you are new to the show, make sure you hit subscribe in your podcast app to ensure that you do not miss a single episode of the number one show for proven practical tips and advice on launching and growing a successful membership business. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for your continued support. I would so appreciate it if you can leave a review to let me know how you benefited from listening to the show, what you enjoy about it, and if that comes with a nice shiny 5 stars, I'd be truly, truly grateful. If you do leave me a review, please do give me a shout on social media at Membership Geeks across all channels to let me know you've reviewed so I can thank you personally. Every review helps us reach more people, make more of a difference, and just to know that I'm doing my job well. So let's dive in to what you should be doing if you're feeling like you need to pivot your online membership. So the first thing to figure out is, do you actually need to pivot at all? Before you throw everything out and start over, we need a reality check. Are you sure that a pivot is necessary? And is pivoting going to solve whatever problems are going on? The desire to pivot usually comes from some sort of frustration. Something just isn't clicking, whether it's low sales, stagnant growth, a lack of engagement. But before you assume that the topic, the structure, and the model of your membership are the problems, consider these other possibilities. First and foremost, do you have a large enough audience? 99% of times, if there's a problem with a membership, if growth isn't going how someone wants it to, if they're not getting sales, it's usually not because of the topic. It's not because of the model of the offer. It's just that you do not have a large enough audience to really fuel the growth you're expecting. It might just be that not enough people know about it. You can't reach enough people. You're not getting enough traffic, enough leads, and of course that means you're not going to get enough sales. If you've only got a small audience, and if that audience isn't changing, it's not growing, changing your niche will not magically fix that. Starting in a new niche doesn't mean you're suddenly going to get a huge audience either. A pivot will not solve an audience problem. If your biggest struggle is visibility, focus on growing your audience and your email list first before deciding that your membership idea isn't viable. Secondly, consider, have you asked your members what they actually want? When was the last time you served your members or your wider audience? Have you gathered real feedback? Or are you just making assumptions about where the problem lies? If engagement is low, if sales aren't great, if members are cancelling, ask those people why. Sounds so simple, but so often membership owners make knee-jerk strategic decisions at a high level that involve massive change and upheaval without once going to the people that matter, their members and their audience, and asking for their thoughts, their feedback, their input. You might find out that a simple tweak in your content or your pricing strategy or your delivery method is all you need. A pivot isn't always the answer. Sometimes a few strategic changes can make all the difference. And ask yourself, are you just bored or burned out? Be really honest with yourself here. Is your membership really failing, or are you just tired of it? It's normal to hit a rough patch, to feel uninspired, or to want a new challenge. But if your membership is actually working by any measure, If your members are sticking around, if you're making money, if it's growing and everything's trending in the right direction, maybe you don't need a major change. Maybe you just need to reignite your passion for what you're doing. Take a break. Revisit your vision. Get some outside perspective before making drastic changes just to address your boredom or your burnout. Now, let's say you've done your due diligence. Let's say you've ruled out having a small audience, that you've been collecting feedback and it all kind of lines up with your assumptions and your thoughts, that you're not bored, you're not burned out, you really do want to make a go of this, but everything is pointing to the fact your membership does need to change. If a pivot is necessary, what does that look like? What kind of pivot are we talking about? There's a few different ways you can go. First, refining or niching down, or niching for my transatlantic cousins. Maybe your membership topic is too broad and people aren't joining because they don't see themselves in what you offer. You're not solving a specific problem. If your membership is about marketing, for example, that's a massive topic. It's so broad and wide-ranging. But a membership about email marketing for coaches, that's a lot clearer who you are for and what you help them with. Niching down helps you to attract the right members who feel like your content is tailor-made for them. It helps improve retention because members will feel like they're in the exact right place to get the results they want. And it helps to make your messaging sharper and your marketing more effective. So that could be the pivot you need. On the flip side though, maybe you went too niche. If you're struggling to attract enough people, broadening your focus and expanding your topic slightly could open more doors. For example, if your membership is just about writing sales pages, maybe broadening to copywriting for small businesses could help you to reach a larger audience. The key thing here is to make sure that your expanded topic still makes sense for your existing members. If the new direction alienates your core audience and your existing member base, that's a problem. But sometimes you might need a complete topic shift. Sometimes the entire focus of your membership just isn't working. Maybe you started a membership on a topic you're simply no longer passionate about, or maybe the market isn't responding at all. Perhaps the subject just isn't relevant anymore. Anyone out there start a membership about NFTs? If you need to shift gears entirely, consider what skills, experience, and credibility do you already have. You don't want to jump into something brand new with no expertise. Can you transition your existing members? If your current audience could benefit from your new direction, that makes the pivot much easier. And are you willing to start fresh if needed? If your pivot is too big, you might need to rebuild from the ground up, so make sure you're prepared for that. So, if you think about what kind of pivot is actually needed, then the next step is to ensure that those changes are rolled out and handled in the right way. Pivoting is a big change. And if you're making a big change, don't just flip the switch overnight. There's a right way to pivot without alienating your existing members or confusing your audience. First and foremost, make sure you communicate with your existing members. If you're shifting focus, be upfront about it. Let your members know what's changing, why, and how it will impact them. If the change benefits them, sell them on the new value they'll get and the exciting new doors and avenues that are opening up. Really make it about what's in it for them. If it's a big departure, consider offering them some sort of transition plan, maybe even a grace period if they need to move on to a different membership or a different solution to problems you're no longer going to be addressing. It's not a bad thing to actually let your existing member base have continued access, perhaps even for free, to what's in the membership for another few months, just so that they don't feel they're getting ditched immediately, so that they can finish watching courses that they've started, so that they can talk to people in the community that they've networked with, they've grown connected to, and talk about how they can stay connected outside the membership. Give them that grace period if your pivot does involve shutting your membership down. So, first and foremost, make sure you communicate with existing members. Secondly, test the waters before going all in. Instead of making a massive shift overnight, introduce small changes first. Create content around your new direction and see how your audience responds. Offer a mini course or a workshop on the new topic before transitioning your full membership. Start out with a webinar. See how you do at getting people engaged and registered for that. Then consider doing a paid workshop or a paid mini course, again to validate that there's demand and that demand is so strong people will pay. If engagement and interest are strong, if you're validating that idea, that new direction, then move forward with the pivot. Third, market that new direction effectively. A pivot isn't just about what's changing inside your membership. It's also meaning adjusting your positioning, your messaging, and your marketing. If you are making a tweak to the direction of your existing membership, you need to make sure your website, your sales pages, your branding, all of this reflect the shift, the copywriting that you use, all of it. If needed, consider renaming your membership to better align with the new focus. And make sure that new members immediately understand what's different and why it matters to them. Address the fact that a change has been made. So if there's any material still in the membership that perhaps might not immediately seem relevant to them, there's more of an understanding of it. Now again, of course, if you are just burning everything down and starting from scratch, you are essentially starting a brand new membership, and so you need to start at step one effectively, with validating your idea, with designing and developing the membership offer, with getting your core marketing in place, with building an audience within this new market. So understand that if you're making that monumental a pivot, you are starting from scratch again. That doesn't mean it's the wrong thing to do, but don't take for granted that you're going to be able to shortcut any part of that process. You need to be smart about your pivot. Pivoting can be a powerful move, but it's not something to take lightly. Before making any major changes, take the time to understand why your current membership and your current direction isn't working and whether a pivot is truly the right solution. If you do decide to change direction, do it strategically, get feedback, communicate clearly with your members, and make sure that your new direction sets you up for long-term success. Remember, membership businesses are a long game. Stay patient, stay smart, don't rush into a pivot without a solid plan. All right, that is it for today's episode. Have you ever needed to pivot your membership? Are you thinking about it right now? Has this episode been useful, giving you some clarity, giving you some food for thought? I'd love to hear from you. You can connect with me at Membership Geeks across all major social media channels, or if you're an Academy member, we can keep the conversation going there. If you're not a member and you want expert guidance on running and growing a successful membership, come join us inside membershipacademy.com, where we help you navigate every stage of membership success. That's it from me. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back again very soon with another episode of the Membership Geeks podcast. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Membership Geeks podcast, we invite you to check out membershipacademy.com. Membership Academy is the original membership about memberships, and it's the essential resource for anyone at any stage of starting, growing, and running a successful online membership business. Whether you're still trying to figure out what your idea is going to be and you need some help making it a reality, or whether your website is already up and running and you're looking for ways to grow and attract new members, then Membership Academy can help you to get to the next level. Not only do you get access to our step-by-step membership roadmap, our extensive training library, and exclusive member-only discount and tools, you'll also become part of our supportive, active community of membership owners that will help you along the way in your journey with feedback, encouragement, and advice. All of this and more make Membership Academy the #1 place to be for anyone looking to start, manage, and grow a successful membership business. Check it out and join the community at membershipacademy.com.